happen if two of history's most fearsome warriors, the Spartans and the Vikings, clashed in an all-out battle? Who would dominate the battlefield, and who would go home with a helmet full of regrets? Let's talk about it. First, let's talk about the Spartans. These guys were trained from birth to be warriors. Literally, at age 7, Spartan boys were taken from their families and thrown into the agoge, basically a boot camp that would make modern gyms look like playgrounds. Their entire life was about discipline and teamwork. They fought in tight formations, known as the phalanx, where each warrior's shield protected the man next to him. Think of them as the ancient world's version of a well-oiled war-making machine. But the Spartans weren't just all about brute force, they were strategic. Their entire society was built around perfecting the art of war, with every Spartan soldier being a cog in a larger war machine. These guys wouldn't just charge headlong into battle. They would outthink their enemy, exploit weaknesses, and crush them with sheer unity. Now, let's set sail to meet the Vikings. You know, the guys who thought, why sail to the Mediterranean when we can just raid and pillage our way there? Vikings were fearless seafarers with a love for adventure and treasure, of course. Unlike the Spartans, the Vikings weren't trained from birth to fight. But don't let that fool you. These guys could swing a battle axe with enough force to split a tree. They were fierce adaptive fighters, known for their hit and run tactics and love for one-on-one combat. Forget formations, Vikings fought with chaos, and that was part of their strength. They thrived in the middle of a wild, messy melee. But here's where it gets interesting. The Vikings weren't just brawlers, they were also excellent navigators, explorers, and traders. So while the Spartans were busy defending their homeland, the Vikings were out there discovering new lands, making deals, and occasionally raiding a monastery or two. Now, here is the most important part of this video. How would the fight between them go? The first clash would likely be a test of endurance. The Spartans, with their rigid formation, would hold the line, pushing the Vikings back with their spears. But the Vikings wouldn't just stand there and take it. They would strike quickly, retreat, and then come back with a new angle of attack, trying to disrupt the Spartans' phalanx. In a wide open battlefield, the Spartans could maintain their formation, slowly wearing down the Vikings with their precision and teamwork. However, the Vikings were adaptive. If the fight moved to a rougher terrain, like the forests or mountains the Vikings were used to, the battle might start to shift. In tighter spaces, where the phalanx couldn't maneuver as easily, the Vikings' chaotic, aggressive style could prove overwhelming. But the real kicker would come down to the environment and circumstances. If the Viking could surprise the Spartans, hit them when they are unprepared, or lure them into unfamiliar territory, the tide of battle could turn in favor of the Vikings. The Spartans, though, with their iron discipline, would be hard to break in a direct confrontation. Ultimately, it is a clash of two philosophies of war. The disciplined, methodical Spartans versus the wild, unpredictable Vikings. The Spartans could dominate in a controlled environment, using their formation and strategy to break down the Viking assault. But the Vikings would thrive in chaos, where they could use their adaptability and aggressive tactics to throw the Spartans off balance. So there you have it, the clash of two of history's most fearsome warrior cultures, each bringing their own strengths and strategies to the battlefield. But now, we want to hear from you. Do you think the disciplined Spartans with their unbeatable formation would hold the line and claim victory? Or will the unpredictable wild Vikings break through and overwhelm them with their ferocity? Let us know in the comments down below.